Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Corporate Marketing Weekly Results Recap. It is Friday, April 24th, and we are going to kick off with some amazing results from the corporate marketing team. So I'm up first. So for corporate comms, the Newswire channel had 75 media mentions of GitLab in the news this past week. Woo! It's amazing. A couple ones I want to highlight. Our amazing customer, Soprasteria, was very generous and did a feature article on their use of GitLab with Lem Mag IT. So this customer is very big in France, and this publication is very big in France. So I think that could really benefit our sales and marketing teams there. And we got a really nice call out from McBee on our PR efforts in Australia on Slack on the sales channel. So that was really great to hear as we expand into that region. From Will, in terms of talking about the GitLab contribute results, he mentioned that in a 24-hour span, the hashtag returned an exponential amount of impressions on Twitter. And to put this into perspective, our remote guide in mid-March, which placed had a ton of returns, was only a fraction of this number. So we definitely rocked it yesterday on that. And then speaking of results, I wanted to give a huge shout out to Christina Weaver, who led our channel program launch. She helped secure 7 partner quotes for the press release and media interviews. And one of our partners gave amazing feedback about how it didn't feel like a typical article. It was well informed, and it told the story, and they appreciated being highlighted as a partner, which is wonderful. And then the program has 55 stories and counting across the US, Australia, DACH region, Sweden, Benelux, and Korea. So just a phenomenal launch, and stories just keep coming in. So it's been an amazing week for corporate comms. And now over to Darren.
Awesome. Thank you very much. This week we stood up our first learning and development MVC. So we have a new L&D partner that joined GitLab recently. We've had some amazing collaborations. So we started with the handbook first page. I felt like that was the most universally applicable. So we put together a knowledge assessment on that. It was really fun to put together, and also tweeted it out. So anyone outside of GitLab can also take this and provide us feedback on if it helps you in any way. We're also going to take the next step, I listed a little bit further down, of listing out the rest of the all remote guys. We're trying to rank them sort of in order of significance to build assessments around, and then additional curriculum from there. So I'm excited about that. It's something that I think a lot of people are interested in, and they want to know more. And this is an easy first step at getting the basics committed to memory. Lots of remote work related media articles per Natasha's note above. And then a big week for remote work consultations and webcast. Because this is being recorded, I'm not going to mention the client names, but it's all in the agenda. And with that, I will kick it over to Priyanka.
Thank you. I was just finishing writing everything. Sorry, give me a hot second. Okay, let's go. All right. So just starting to try to do like a week over week type number for us. I will be upfront that this is not perfect yet, but I'm instituting this as our baseline of metrics that we will share every week. And so my team is hopefully going to improve and get really good stats every week. So week over week, we had over 800,000 impressions on social. We did not publish any new pieces of content, though we are at 40 till date in 2 months, which is great. And we've received 40 requests from other teams so far, 8 this week. Then just some other work. We published the process to collaborate with the community advocates per Todd's suggestion to be the first line of technical defense. It's in there in the handbook, and it's already working. We're seeing a lot of pings from the advocates this week itself. We plan to work more on this in order to really embed ourselves in that team. So we'll be once in a while a TE will go into their weekly meetings and just like knowledge share on technical topics so that they imbibe that we can be their first line of defense in addition to it being a listed process. Brendan has did a Forbes article with Darren. Thank you, Natasha, for your help making it happen. And it seems to have gone really well. And a lot of people are sharing it just in friends and family mode. And so like Brendan told me that somebody who knows his father's golfing buddy's friend, that kind of chain, sent it to the John Hopkins APL. I think it's something propulsion lab, like something really important. And so thousands of people received that. And so far I'm seeing 940 views on the article itself. Brendan is also going to be speaking at Go to Chicago next week. And we can thank the field marketing team for bringing that opportunity. That's a very good brand, and I'm pretty excited to see what the numbers are like. Brendan and Michael partnered to support the Git Challenge teamwork. I think that was last week. But I wanted to highlight it because they were able to like do a quick CI pipeline analysis and deploy fix. So here are engineers who are like 100% in the marketing boat, and they used their skills to help out as they could. Michael did a London Linuxing meetup. I want to highlight this because this is a new audience for us. GitLab awareness isn't as high as it can be. And Michael did his signature talk plus workshop where you code along with him. And it seems like he got really good results. You can see the issue for lots of tweets. I think there were 150 people registered. And finally, Abu Bakr received a discretionary bonus for his hard work that is based on GitLab values, and he's done really well from the results, collaboration, and iteration perspective. I recommended him, and I highlighted what he has done for the Cloud Native Summit online, as well as for program management for TE in general. So that is all of us this week. Thank you very much. And over to Emily.
Yeah, so already talked about this a little bit, but yeah, we did the first ever virtual contribute. So that's exciting. I probably should link to it. Sorry, everybody, but I think you all know where to find it. We had over 800 people live viewing the keynote in the morning, and sorry, morning is relative to Pacific time, and then 400 in the afternoon. So that we pretty much, hopefully got almost everybody at GitLab participating. We're working on getting more stats, but the platform is open for the next 72 hours, or I guess less now, so people are still viewing the video, so we'll get more numbers on those viewing numbers later. And all the videos, everybody was up on my team really late, so mad props to them. They were up to like 2 in the morning getting all the videos up so that people can view them in all the time zones. They're all on unfiltered right now. It was quite a burden to get them edited. We had to learn iMovie last night, which was fun, sort of. But yeah, really happy with just the whole event itself. It definitely felt like a GitLab event, even though we couldn't be together in person. So that was exciting that we're able to kind of foster that community and accomplish that in a virtual platform. I also was really happy that we kind of had this under our belt because it really helps with the agility project we're working on, and like how do we virtualize events and go live. So this is a platform we were considering for that. So I feel like we've made significant progress in terms of that. Then I'm actually really excited. We've been going back and forth with sales for months. So like Libby on my team does all the sales events, and they've been just like declining all of our, or like saying go back to the drawing board for every one of our like proposals for SCO and Club for 2021. And they actually decided on both locations this morning. So really happy with that. Libby like polished the deck up, and we got it to a place where they were happy. And so they picked, I'm not going to say it out loud what they picked because it's not being announced for a couple weeks, but if people are curious, I can tell you. But I'm really, really proud of Libby for that, and really happy that we got to a place that we could start planning. Then this is a little bit smaller, but really happy that we're going to be doing a remote hiring event series. This kind of evolved from doing a virtual job fair, but it'll kind of be more like an open house. So we can promote to diverse candidates, and they can kind of get to know GitLab a little bit better. And so we can expedite the hiring funnel that way. So that's on the books, and I'm really excited to be having a partnership with the hiring team. We've never really worked with them before, so that is exciting. And then the first universal remote webcast, it has over 200 views, and we really didn't promote it at all. So that's kind of a good sign to see what we're going to be able to do when it is promoted. So thanks to everybody who participated in that and to Emily Chin. And then a small win, I updated all of our issue templates because we had like a mega issue for all of our events. And so now they're in like smaller digestible bits, like one for SDR support, one for social. And so I feel like it's just better organized, will be a better UI process for everybody. So that's all of my stuff. Any questions? If not, on to Erica.
Thanks, Emily, and sorry everyone, I was kind of late putting my updates in here today, so I'm probably missing some things. But first update we have from the week, I think it was Val published our ultimate guide to Git on Monday, and I just double checked, and actually has 4,000 page views so far. And anything that gets about 3,000 or more page views in the first week, we tend to consider a smash hit, because usually only a handful of our posts get that. So really exciting to see that happen. We also, by Val, published an experimental post that's how can we help solve the COBOL programming shortage. So this is really interesting. Val had seen CNN reporting on this, and in a past role had reported on this kind of problem before. And so we decided to run an experiment with writing a post on this topic that really has nothing to do with GitLab, and see how our audience is going to react to it. And so far it has 600 sessions, which is a lot for the first 24 hours. It's too soon to see page views in Google Analytics, but I'm pretty optimistic about the results of this post. Bree published a customer story this week, and personally, I just spent a lot of my week working on GitLab TV. We got the channel issues created so we can start pulling in some more collaborators and start working through our different channel strategies. Also got the first version of promotion guidelines for virtual events done with Will. Got the content marketing team plugged in to one of our agility projects, and Bree kicked off a strategy epic to start working through a more kind of advanced plan for the search pages we've been creating for the website. And then the last thing that I personally have just been spending a lot of time this week parsing out where we're at so far with all of our different translation and localization issues, so that I can pull it all into an epic for Q2. Those are my updates.
Awesome. Well, that takes us through the results section, and I see there are some items in the activities section to share as well. So Natasha, do you want to go ahead?
Yes. All right. Okay, so things that we completed this week, the channel announcement, contribution or contribute presentations, a company background or fact sheet and bios. I don't know if the team would find this helpful, but they're all linked in this issue, and we're having them translated into multiple languages like Korean, Japanese, things like that. As I mentioned, we finalized logistics and presentation for a Japan media meeting next week. We have 10 reporters going, and this is Sid, Tad, Sun, and Anthony speaking. And this is our first like formal introduction formally to the media, which means it's our first formal introduction to the Japanese market in their eyes and in their readers' eyes. So this is a really big deal for us next week. So everything is done for that meeting, which is amazing. And then didn't come out of my budget, but we expanded PR support to Singapore with our PR agency bench. We didn't have any more comms budget left, and so we were able to take some from field marketing, which was amazing. So we are now expanded into all of our countries that we consider a tier 0 or a tier 1.
Thank you, field marketing, for the budget.
For sure. So I'm up next. I mentioned a little bit about this earlier, but kind of an overarching goal I have for All Remote is to empower and enable and equip all GitLabbers to essentially be all remote evangelists. We can do a lot more with 1,200 plus people than we can with just a couple. So we've stood up a big handbook page on teaching other companies to go remote, and then part of equipping our own team to feel more comfortable doing that. I'm working with an L&D partner to start putting some guardrails on what does knowledge assessment look like, what are some basic MVCs on just teaching our own company about it. A lot of these pages are kind of being built in real time. So anyone that joined, for example, before me didn't even see any of this in onboarding. A lot of this has happened really, really fast. So we want to make sure even people that have been here for years know that this knowledge exists, know that this section of the handbook exists, and how to dive through it and get educated on it. I'm also working with the team on the ongoing CPO search. That's been really fun, trying to think of some innovative ways to engage with candidates and clients and touch on some of the topical topics that are pertinent right now. I'm personally preparing for a remote CEO shadow in early May, which is awesome. So I'm working to make sure I'm not blocking anybody that's working on all remote anything. And I'm setting up alumni coffee chat with John Coughlin. Thank you, John. That should be fun. John was also my onboarding buddy, so kind of full circle there, which is awesome. It's been really cool to see remote weaving its way into the analyst community. Our prior analyst relationships had pretty much exclusively been based on DevOps, and now the future of work side of those analyst firms want to touch base with GitLab, and it's some really amazing relationships are being built where we're learning from them and they're learning from us, which is helping us to educate better as we talk to the community. And tactical thing at the end, believe it or not, Q2 FY21 is like right here. So we're going to figure out what budget looks like for that and what our plans are to continue the momentum that has started in Q1. That's it for me.
Thanks, Darren. All right, last up, I think we have a demo from Natasha.
Yes. So it's not like a traditional demo, but it is a request for feedback. So I am being interviewed by HeavyBit about communication best practices. And they did the amazing interview with Darren. So I would love this team's feedback on what is said, because this is kind of coming from our whole department and that's how it'll be seen. So I want to make sure that everyone has input on the responses. And it's due today. So if everyone could, I mean, if you want to kind of look at that.
Awesome. Well, I will make sure to give you feedback. And other than that, we're at the end of our agenda. So I think we should wish everyone a happy weekend. I hope you all rest up. See you on Monday. Thanks so much.
Oh, yes. And also one thing, speaking of Danielle wrapping things up, we added the Zoom DJ team room to informal communications guide. So I think
thank you.
Yeah, that was a pretty awesome piece of advice. We actually have been building that out. One of the questions we're getting frequently is, how can I help my team feel more like a team in a remote setting? And Zoom added this cool feature under share screen where you can just share your computer audio. So you can just gather people in and just let like the DJ rotate around the room. Pretty awesome. So if you want to do that for any of your teams, give it a whirl. It's in the handbook now.